Life on the Montana State University campus in Bozeman is back to normal this morning after police issued a shelter in place as they searched for a suspect who may have been armed. MTM's Cody Boyer tells us how it all started and then ended.
In the end, about 2 hours after this all started, campus police say they found the man here inside Norm Asbjornson Hall. Now, MSU Police Chief Frank Parrish says this began with a social media post from an employee, a current employee here on campus.
MSU Police received a report of a threat made by an MSU employee.
After that, officers moved quickly, locking all buildings, and immediately started looking for the man behind it.
The suspect stated to a family member that he was ready to end it all, and he has all of his guns loaded, and he was ready to take out anyone with him.
Agents from across the area rallied, working through the county 911 center and the emergency alert system. The suspect was nowhere to be found, but just minutes before had been at the campus police station.
In this particular case, we didn't know where the suspect was. We knew he was on campus because he came by about 20 minutes prior to that and bought a parking pass. He was also scheduled for a 2 o'clock meeting, a dismissal hearing. He was an employee going through the disciplinary process.
And according to Chief Parrish, the man was possibly armed with several guns.
We were told that the suspect had 2 shotguns and a rifle. We have not recovered those at this time, but that's all the information that we have on that. He was not armed at the time he was taken into custody.
Police worked quickly, using the county emergency alert system and sending text alerts out to students and staff, putting the university into shelter-in-place mode, something both campus officials and all police agencies involved say might have changed how this played out.
The joint operation with the county 911 center allowed us to dispatch units from all over the county instantaneously, something that in the past we didn't have the capability of doing.
The emergency alert system is absolutely vital. I mean, in a situation where we've got something fast-moving happening, we want to be able to get that information out quickly.
And with that, the shelter in place was lifted. No one was hurt, and the man was sent to the Gallatin County Detention Center. Without the help of technology and teamwork, Chief Parrish says this could have ended much differently.
They followed the procedures that we trained them in doing. They listened to the emergency alert. I'd also like to really thank leadership here at MSU, because without their support, we wouldn't be able to put these security measures in place that I believe makes MSU very safe.
Investigators are still looking for the weapons that Chief Parrish does confirm that this man had access to. Police also impounded his car in a parking lot near Norm Asbjornson Hall, also here on campus in Bozeman. Cody Boyer, MTN News.
And now we go to Park County, where a 74-year-old Texas man reported missing near Livingston has been found dead. After nearly 8 hours of searching, his body was found in the Shields River just north of Livingston on Thursday morning. Undersheriff Clay Herbst says the man's wife reported him missing just before 10 o'clock Wednesday night after he failed to return from a walk. The man was believed to be in good health at the time, but it is unknown if he suffered a medical emergency that caused him to fall in the river or if he slipped and fell. An Air Force helicopter out of Great Falls used an infrared camera to search throughout the night, but on Thursday morning, search crews on the ground were finally able to locate the man's body. The state lottery is now working to implement legal sports betting in Montana using the lottery's current contractor. But as MTN's Mike Dennison reports, the process so far is not without its critics and concerns.
The 2019 state legislature legalized sports betting in Montana and put the lottery in charge of regulating it and rolling it out within a year. At a meeting of the State Lottery Commission Thursday, staff summarized 18 pages of draft rules that define things like who can play and where they can place bets. Commission Chairman Wilbur Raymond said he also wants the rules and the lottery to address a seedier side of sports betting, point shaving by athletes.
I just want to make sure we're looking at the possibility of impact on high school students, college students in terms of playing sports. The lure is so great for the cash involved in sports betting.
The lottery plans to have public hearings on the proposed rules soon. Also Thursday, the lottery's decision to have its current contractor, Intralot, run the sports wagering in Montana came in for some criticism. Lobbyists representing the state gaming industry and gambling machine operators said members of their industry should get to bid on the contract.
Awarding a contract worth $4.5 to $6.1 million over the next 4 years each year to a company on a no-bid contract. I'm hearing rumblings from within the industry that should the commission go ahead and just do a no-bid contract with Interlock, that you could have some litigation over that?
We have members that are very interested in bidding the lottery contract. These companies have more experience in the United States sports betting market than Interlock does. And we feel that in order to obtain the best provider for Montana, the lottery needs to go through the full RFP process.
State Lottery Director Angela Wong said the lottery will take the time it needs to get things right for sports betting in Montana. But the commission would have to decide whether to put the brakes on the process and seek a new contract. The next step, lottery staff will continue working on the rules, and unless there's a change of heart on the commission about the contract, sports betting in Montana could be underway later this year. In Helena, I'm Mike Dennison, MTN News.
Legalization of sports betting in Montana and other states comes in the wake of a U.S. Supreme Court decision allowing it. On the campaign trail, a former Wyoming Congresswoman will now run for the U.S. Senate. Cynthia Lummis is the first Republican to file for the seat that will open with Senator Mike Enzie's retirement. Cynthia Lummis served in the U.S. House as a Wyoming representative from 2009 to 2017. In November of 2015, she said she would not run for re-election. On Thursday, she talked about running for the U.S. Senate.
I'm Cynthia Lummis, and I'm back.
This video is from Lummis's campaign video on her website, building a wall on the southern border, defunding sanctuary cities, the First Amendment and religious freedom, and the Second Amendment are among her top issues. She says she supports President Trump and wants to confirm his judicial nominees and appointees. She's also concerned with energy and the Democrats' Green New Deal. Before serving in Congress, Lummis served as Wyoming state treasurer and in the state legislature. Lummis is the only Republican to announce her run. Roll call asked about Representative Liz Cheney running for the Senate. If Cheney does get in the race, Lummis said the primary would be a real barn burner. From Billings to Alaska, a crew with the Billings Flying Service traveled north to help fight a massive wildfire. The crew you see here left in a Black Hawk helicopter on Wednesday. There are multiple large fires burning across the state, including the Swan Lake fire. The fire has burned more than 100,000 acres near Sterling, Alaska, and is just 20% contained. Billings Flying Service is often called in to assist with wildfires. Its first crew of the season flew out in mid-June to help with fires in California. Montana's health officials are now considering a rule to force all public schools across the state to test their drinking water for lead. A public hearing Thursday in Helena dove into the possible changes. Some claim lead can linger in the body, causing long-lasting health effects, especially in children. The Office of Public Instruction expressed concerns over the state's lack of communication.
Discuss the impacts. Discuss how we can manage getting from point A to point B in making sure that our students are safe. But being excluded from a conversation is what has happened. That lack of transparency, that lack of conversation is poor leadership and very poor government. That's not what I was elected to do. That's not what our schools and our communities expect.
The OPI indicates it has requested an extension to allow schools, education stakeholders, and communities to fully understand these rules and provide comments. Well, now we go to Rosebud County, where there has been some excitement after a bear decided it wanted to upgrade its ride. Check out these pictures of the young bear checking out the sheriff's ride, but unfortunately, that pickup is already off the market by Sheriff Alan Fulton. Sheriff Fulton shooed the bear off with rubber bullets and cracker rounds. Sheriffs were called to check out the bear after homeowners found it hanging out with their cats. So far, everyone's hoping the bear stays away to make sure Thursday's outcome is the only run-in with the law this guy has.